Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking this precious time of your Sunday to join us. This is a financial education series by Squirrel Treehouse. We're a group of technology entrepreneurs who want to do good, positive social impact in the region, primarily through financial literacy and education. Today's topic is investing in your future with artificial intelligence. And the key questions I'd like you to think about is, how is it possible? And how have we made it work out of Singapore? And how can anyone, anywhere, anytime benefit from this AI investing system so that you can have a better, more financially secure future? I would like to just move on to a poll, right? The poll would have 11 questions. And the reason is that before we start, I'd like to have a sense of your backgrounds, which will help me also focus on certain aspects of my talk today. And at the end of this session, I hope you can at least be more aware and informed about technology and how technology is impacting old financial services to bring new financial services to anyone, anywhere, and anytime. So Sylvia, can you please put up the poll, 11 questions, and maybe we give everyone about 3 minutes to answer the questions. The first one, all right, if everyone can look at it, it's a very simple question. Do you have a mobile phone to access the internet? So some people have got a mobile phone, but you cannot access the internet. So only if you can access the internet, then by all means say yes. Many of you are perhaps on your mobile, so you can access the internet, otherwise we won't be talking today. But some of you may be doing it through a laptop. So even if you have a laptop and your mobile phone, you don't have a data plan, but your laptop has a Wi-Fi, say yes. The next question, please. So almost 100% out of 90 people. The next question is question 2. Do you have a bank account? Very straightforward. And from the response so far, many do not have a bank account. This is a very interesting revelation, which is not surprising actually. And later in my slides, your percentage of no is 65% and 35% of you have got a bank account. And that's about 108 people who responded. So we can end poll and share the result, right? So that's the result. 65% have no bank account. Next question. Do you think you should start investing at a young age? So most so far have said yes. There are a few who say no. So it's not a lot, but there are some. And I hope at the end of this session, you'll have a better answer to this same question for yourself. Okay, so it is 94% who say yes, you should start investing at a young age. So let's move on to the next question. The question is, in 12 months, will you be happy to see your money grow? By how much? 1 to 5%? 5 to 10%, more than 10%. So it would not be a surprise. The trend is that most of you want to see more than 10%. But interestingly, there are some of you who just are happy with 5 to 10%. And there are some 10% who are happy with just 1 to 5% return. Here, I'm assuming you know what it means to see your money grow. And what I want you to remember from this answer to this question, where 60% want your money to grow by 10%, during my presentation and after I end, there will be a question and answer session. You may want to ask, all right, should we have a 100% target, or should we have a 10% target, or should we just be happy with 1 to 5%? I hope that if I do my education well during this session, I would teach you and share with you that returns are not everything, because the returns you aim for should be based on the risk that you are comfortable taking. So that's a very important financial literacy lesson I want to share with you, all right, during my presentation. Thank you very much. Next question. The next question is, what do you think is the amount of money that you need to start investing? All right, is it 50,000 pesos or more? Is it 20,000 pesos upwards? How much do you really need to start investing? Based on your own experience, based on your own knowledge, do not guess. So use your own thinking from your own experience. If you go to a bank today, if you wanted to invest, how much would they want you to give them as a minimum in your own experience? So interestingly, out of 100 over people replied, the answers are pretty well spread out. 11% say you need 50,000 pesos or more to invest, right? 18%, surprisingly, 18% says you can start investing with only 40 pesos. I'd like to find out from you where you can currently start investing with 40 pesos. For those 20 of you who said, yes, you can start investing with 40 pesos, you must know something that I haven't shared with you yet, or you know something that I do not know, and I'll be very happy to hear how is it that 20 of you can start investing with 40 pesos. That's very interesting. 30% says you need a minimum of 5,000 pesos. 5,000 pesos would be over just 100 over dollars Singapore, right? Or about, yeah, close to 100 US. So I'm wondering how you can actually do this as well. 30% of you say you can. So I'd like to find out what you mean by investing, because to be honest, during this session, I'd like to share with you that when you say investing, many of you are not investing. Many of you think it's investing, but the truth is, and I want you to remember this, you're actually gambling, and gambling is not investing. And what we stand for to educate people is to do investing right and to do it smart. So that's the reason for this question. Thank you for sharing. Next question, please. Next question is, where do you want to invest? Do you want to invest only in the Philippines, or do you want to invest in the whole world? So during my presentation, I will share with you what is better and what makes smarter choices and better sense. And interestingly, so far, out of 100 over respondents, a large number, I would say, 34, 35, 36% say they want to invest in the Philippines only. So during this presentation, I hope that I can educate you better, that perhaps your answer to invest in the Philippines only is based on what you know. And in that case, I hope to add more value to you through this financial education to tell you that the world has changed for you, but you are going to make a choice. Do you want to be part of the future, or do you want to be left behind? Next question, please. Next question is, what kind of currency do you like to own? Do you want to have Filipino pesos? Or do you think that the US dollar is going to be stronger for you? Or do you think the Singapore dollar will be stronger for you? And interestingly, most of you not surprisingly, will go for the US dollar because that's traditionally where the thinking has been. And only a small percentage, say Singapore dollar, about 11% of you, and about 13% of you say Filipino peso. So I hope during this financial education, I can open your mind to how technology is changing things. And I hope to enhance your knowledge that the US dollar is not everything. Okay, so next question. The next question is, do you think humans can beat artificial intelligence in calculating data, lots of data, within 1 second? Do you think a human can beat an AI, not in 10 days, not in 1 year, not in thinking, but in calculating data in 1 second? Can humans beat a machine? And I'm very interested to see currently 35% of you say that a human can beat an AI in calculating lots of data in 1 second. I'd like to know who you are, and I'd like to bet your house and everything you own, and I'll give you a data, and I'll put a simple machine and you next door, and then we'll see who wins. You're going to lose. The human is going to lose. So 36% of you, I don't know why, you said that humans can beat AI in calculating lots of data in 1 second. Maybe you didn't think through it, but I would guarantee you, don't bet on this because you will lose. A machine can send 1 million rockets to the moon today using your handphone, your mobile phone. So there's no way a human can beat a machine in calculating data in 1 second. No way. So very, very shocking discovery that 35% of you say that humans can beat AI in calculating lots of data in 1 second. Interesting. Next question. Okay. The other question is, do you want to invest using methods that Singaporeans are using? Singaporeans I mentioned because we're a global wealth management center and we have many wealthy people and middle class and young people from all over the world who are investing using Singapore's methods. So most of you from the trend say yes, all right? So I hope we can educate you on what is possible using the internet, using your mobile phone, and also using technology. Next question, please. I think that's the last one, right? Oh, not yet. This is the last one. Your investment knowledge. What is your investment knowledge? Zero, basic, fair, or good? So many of you say basic. So I hope we can add more value to you through today's session by talking about investment technology and how it's changing the world for you and how you can change your future if you are more aware of technology that we in Singapore and elsewhere from other countries are using. Okay, good. There are 16% with zero knowledge. So please stop me if there are things you don't understand. It's important that in this financial education series, we give you more knowledge for you to make your own decisions. So thank you very much. I believe that's all the questions we have. Sylvia?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Okay, so we can share the results of the poll. I don't know whether they will see all questions, but it's not necessary. We can move on to the sharing.
Yep, because I've shared all the results every time when we end the poll, so I think everybody has seen the result already.
Great, thank you. So we can end the poll, and I want to thank everyone for participating. Next time when we do this, we'll give you some prizes. All right? Okay. So we will now move on to the presentation. First, before I start, I want to tell you that this is a financial education series. It's brought to you by Squirrel Treehouse and Squirrel Safe. I'm the guest speaker. we are not a financial advisor in this presentation, though we are licensed and regulated by the Central Bank of Singapore, which is called the Monetary Authority of Singapore. I want to share with you that although I'm doing this financial education, this is not sponsored or done by or with the Monetary Authority of Singapore. It is done as a Squirrel Treehouse financial education benefit for people around the world. Today, we are talking to you in the Philippines to educate you about what technology is doing in the investment world. And hopefully with this knowledge, it will benefit you in your own country and in your own education. Having said that, Squirrel Safe is regulated by MAS, and we are specialists in using artificial intelligence to invest better for Singaporeans. And we are licensed in Singapore, and we are based in Singapore. All right, so that is my explanation to you. So moving on. A long time ago, in a galaxy far away, but I'd like to say, if you are a Star Wars fan, you'd know where this one comes from. But I'd say a long time ago, in all our countries, including Singapore, which is not too far away from the Philippines, all right, many things have changed. So what has changed? I've been in investments for 30 years. And you can see on this screen that when I started investing 30 years ago, information was very expensive to get. We have to use the old rotary telephones where you have to dial. Some of you may not have seen this picture, but this is already quite modern because you can see it's got push button on the round thing. The older one that we used to do, we actually have to dial it, and each number you dial, it has to rotate. To get the information, it took a long time, and I can only talk to one person at one time. And if I had to talk to someone overseas, I normally wouldn't, because we had to get an operator to connect us between two countries, and that itself would take 3 to 5 minutes to connect, and it would cost me maybe $20 a minute to talk. So information to share would be very expensive. Unlike today, we can talk to you across the seas, the Philippine Sea, South China Sea, Singapore and Philippines, and we're talking, we're sharing, even with videos and with a PowerPoint slide. So the information situation has changed, right? And it's become replaced, all right, with much cheaper, faster information at a click. You can see the mobile phone there or the laptop. That's what has changed. Then let's move on to the old way I did business. I did business human to human. We had all these phones and we'll call each other. But as I said, we can only talk to one customer or one person at a time. And by the time I have a good piece of information for you and you're not a good customer to me, by the time you hear it, it's already too late. So it's human-based. So what has changed, all right, is that we have moved from human-based to machine-driven. We have a dashboard, we have data, and the machine is calculating data much faster than a human being in 1 minute. All right. Next, in the old days, we were limited to our own countries. Everyone in their own little countries, isolated from one another. But today, that has been replaced because the whole world has become one world, global. So to those who answered that you'd like to invest in the Philippines, only 36% of you, I would strongly urge you to catch up with the present so that you can be ready for the future. The future is not one country. The future is beyond global, all right? And so the old world is changing to new, and the old world, which was mainly speculating, because a human doesn't know everything, so he's guessing. When he's guessing, he's gambling or speculating. So we move to the world of smart investing, and we throw out speculation, all using artificial intelligence. So what have we done? We have a case study for you And that's why I'm invited to speak about Squirrel Safe, because we took artificial intelligence and we replaced the old world of investing. And what do we have? We have smart investing for anyone, anywhere, anytime. And I mean it. You could be on a little island in the Indian Ocean, Diego Garcia, and you can be investing with us. But you're not investing in Singapore. You are investing in the world. If you are in a little village in Indonesia, you could be using a mobile phone, investing through us, Squirrel Safe, into the whole world, which is what every Singaporean has the luxury of doing, which is what every person who is planning and building their financial future is able to do today. So if today you are hearing this financial education sharing with you and you are not even doing it, let me assure you, the young people, the older people in countries like Singapore, the USA, Europe, Australia, we are all using this kind of technology to invest globally, right? And I want to tell you, you can too. So I hope you can learn something from today's education session. So what does Squirrel Save do? Now, before I explain, let me go back to some basics, because there's a percentage of you who said your knowledge is basic or zero, almost half, 40%. So I want to go back to basics. Now, remember, one of the questions is, how much of a return, how much do you want to see your money grow by in 1 year? If you have $1, if you want to grow it by 10%, that will be $1 becoming $1.10 in 12 months. Some of you, in fact, many of you, 50% said you want it to grow by more than 10%. But who doesn't want to? But I also asked you to remember during this session, when you talk about return, think about risk. So I'm talking about it here. Investment is about returns, but actually the truth is it's about managing risk. Too often we've been brought up by greed who say go for returns. But actually, if you want more returns, you have to take bigger risks. But bigger risk doesn't mean higher returns only. Bigger risk means you can also lose very big. So let me tell you, every person who's been selling you this idea that to get higher returns, you need to take higher risk. Remember this lesson, they're only telling you 50% or half of the story. The reason is, when you take higher risk, you can have higher returns, but you can also have higher losses. And more than often, we have seen people gambling and losing, and they have no more money to carry on. So please, investment is not gambling. So investment needs to manage risks before you target the returns. For gambling, you chase returns before worrying about the risk. So you need to make a basic decision. What kind of person are you? Do you want to gamble, speculate, or do you want to be an investor? But better than that, you can be a human investor, but a human cannot calculate lots of data. Remember I asked you? Because there's too much data in the whole world. But machines can calculate data without human emotion in split seconds, better than a human, and that's why we call it artificial intelligence, something a human cannot do. So we use artificial intelligence to manage risk and then target returns. That's why we call it smart investing and not stupid gambling. So remember this lesson. The concept I want to share with you in investment is, how do we manage risks? So there is a famous proverb, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So it is just too risky, because if all your eggs are in one basket and you drop one basket, you lose everything. So what we teach you is to diversify, to spread it out, just as you live every day. Eat healthy food, but don't only eat one type of food. Eat vegetables, but have different types of vegetables. So you have a spread. That's what we call diversification in finance, in investments. And diversification, you will learn as you progress in life or university that managing risks basically uses a concept of diversification, spreading out your risk, spreading out all your eggs in many baskets, so that if any basket falls, you have some eggs which are still safe. So that is the concept in finance that you must understand. But diversification needs a lot of mathematics and calculations. Therefore, we have used machines to do that hard work for us. In this hard work, our machine spreads your eggs. All right, when you put in $1, you put in $10, you put in $1 million. Our machine can calculate and spread your eggs into different types of investments, into shares, into property, into mutual funds, and so on. A human cannot do it. He can only focus on one or two things, but he can't focus on many things, and worse, even if I give you a few things, 10 things, and I juggle them, you cannot juggle for more than an hour. You will become tired, you need to sleep. But the investment world continues 24 hours a day. Why use a human to invest in the world when we can use machines, when we can use artificial intelligence? So let me play a short video for you to help you reinforce this first lesson about smart diversification using artificial intelligence.
As the saying goes, don't put all your eggs in one basket. When investing, it means spreading your risk across many stocks. But how many is enough? In reality, most have a handful of stocks. Worse, many are trading, not investing. No proper research to understand the risks. Mostly hoping prices will go up based on gut feel or on hearing an exciting soundbite. Even if you do proper research, there are too many to track. Humanly impossible. But Squirrel Save can. Using the power of AI and sophisticated computational finance techniques usually used by large financial institutions, Squirrel Save's algorithms have been trained with over 12 years of data and focus on medium to long-term asset allocation. Not trading. You need to take at least a one-year view at Squirrel Save. Less speculating. More smart investing. It's time to use the power of AI. To get started, go to www.squirrelsave.com.sg. Squirrel Save, smart investing for anyone, anywhere, anytime.
So that is a short introduction to the concept of diversification. Now let me talk how AI can be used to improve investment results. So the truth, if you don't know, is that AI has already arrived. I would say, if I look back now, AI arrived roughly around 2015, where it can be used by many people. Engineers particularly have started using it, and we started exploring that. And so in 2016 and 2017, we decided to start using AI. And in 2018, we started this company called Squirrel Safe. So Squirrel Safe uses AI. And if you are not using it, it's very sad, because you are not investing in your future and you're not doing it smartly. So let me play.
Investing is never simple. So much information, too many products. How do you protect your assets? Squirrel Save solves these problems for you. Tailored to your age, assets, and investment objectives, Squirrel Save provides a personalized asset management solution. Works 24/7 for every stage of your life, based on your needs. The transparent Squirrel Save algorithm is built on Markowitz's Nobel Prize-winning modern portfolio theory. Your tailor-made portfolio will be diversified across different investment markets with exposure to domestic and global assets, seeking returns while mitigating risks. Our machine learning AI algorithms have been trained with more than 12 years of past data and 3 years of real-time market information. Squirrel Save goes beyond traditional static asset management by adjusting to real-time market changes in line with your personal risk profile. By dynamically allocating across asset classes with low or negative correlations, Squirrel Save controls volatility to preserve and grow your wealth. We deliver good risk-adjusted returns consistently. We make low-cost investing available to everyone. We innovate by using AI and machine learning. We make global investing easy for everyone. We create value for you. No knowledge needed. Simply decide your risk profile and we do the rest. More than 12 years of training, tracking 574,000 real-time global factors and analyzing over 21 million data sets. Presenting your personalized portfolio in seconds, covering 5 continents, 15 asset classes, 35 countries, and over 2,000 products. Squirrel Save. Smart investing for anyone, anywhere, anytime.
Okay, I hope that gives you an introduction to our technology. All right, I'm going to simplify the ideas so that you can understand it better. So a human can't do these kind of calculations that I'm showing you. And our machines are able to calculate whether markets are going up or down faster than a human being. And once we can do that calculation, our machines, not I can't do that, but the machines can then split your $1 or your $10 or your $100 into different slices, like a pizza. But instead of eating one pizza that has got one flavor, the machine splits your pizza into different slices. And if it thinks that Hawaiian pineapple is going to go up, it'll give you a little bit bigger slice of the Hawaiian slice. If it thinks that pepperoni is going to be doing much better, then it will increase the slice in your pizza for pepperoni, and so on. So our machine can do this 24 times 7 while we are asleep or while we're playing. And in the old world of investing, I had to sit in front of a telephone to get the information, and I would never be able to calculate or understand the information because there's just too much information. But today, the new world of smart investing is now in your hands, in your mobile phone, in your laptop, through the internet, and you sitting wherever you are. And here, even in the Philippines, Indonesia, or Vietnam, you can invest in the whole world, starting with $1, using AI. Now, let me tell you why I decided to use machines. I've been an investment manager for many years. And when markets go up, we all look very clever. But when markets drop, we get emotional, we're confused, and honestly, we don't know what's happening. Human emotions are just not good for investing. Human emotions are good for gambling because in the two extremes, you just need greed and you need fear. These two human emotions alone will drive gambling. But when you apply greed and fear to investing, you are going to buy high and sell low. But I repeat, when you have emotions in investing, you tend to buy high and you tend to sell low, which means you lose money when you use human emotions. So I know this from real experience, and I don't want you to go through this, and you are born into this new world of smart investing. Why aren't you benefiting from AI? So let me play you a clip to tell you how AI does investing with no human emotions.
Hi there. Are you investing or speculating? Speculator chases returns before analyzing risks. Investor analyzes risks before chasing returns. Analyzing risks, lots of data to digest 24/7. Not humanly possible. Chasing returns, driven by human emotions, which often results in buy high plus sell low. True investing needs discipline and consistency. Truth is, when people say invest, most are speculating. Today, artificial intelligence can invest for you. No human emotions. Analyzes data 24/7. So we created Squirrel Save, smart investing for anyone, anywhere, anytime. Squirrel Save's institutional grade AI algorithms invest for you. Whether you invest $1 or $1 million. No discrimination. Low fees. Top up, withdraw anytime. Stop speculating. Start smart investing online in minutes at squirrelsave.com.sg.
So with that, how do we do these calculations? We have machines that have mathematical models. I don't think you are familiar with it, but these are done by PhDs and professors for the last 50 years. The difference is we now have machines doing it faster than a human being in real time. And we're doing this for investments. What do we want? Look at the top of the screen. We want to get the highest possible return for your risk that you're willing to take. Remember, investment is not about return. Investment is about risk. So you need to decide what kind of risk you want to take. And we then go for the highest possible return using machine, looking across the whole world. All right. And if you look at the whole world, it's more than your own country. And you can do so using machines. Why aren't you using it? Now, I want to tell you, the truth is you have a mobile phone. You now have a passport for investment in your hand. Without traveling physically, even with COVID, you can now enjoy the returns that the world has seen in the last 1 year. Yes, during this world of COVID, since 2020, the poor, the lower income, and the people who work with their hands have suffered. They cannot work, there is no money, and they are getting poorer by the day. But guess what? Those of us who are smarter to use our mobile phones, who can use investment technology, there are many like Squirrel Save. You can be like so many other smarter people because they have used the technology and they have gotten 15, 20%, some even 25% returns during COVID. Yes, during COVID, they did not have to go to work. They could get that kind of returns from $1, $1 million, they can get 10%, 15%, 20%. You know what the banks are paying if you put money with the banks? In Singapore, it's 0.1 or 0.2%. But if you invest using artificial intelligence, in the last 1 year during COVID, our investors have gotten 10%, 15%, 20%, some even 25%. Without working, just parking the money in the artificial intelligence. So that's a sad truth that during this 1 year, you can think back what you have been doing and you can now understand what others have been doing, what others have become poorer. So many more using technology like ours have become richer. What about you? Mobile technology is in your hands. Second, you answered the question, and I said I would refer to this in my presentation. 65% of you said you have no bank account, right? Maybe because you are still a student, but in Singapore, students have bank accounts. But is it so important to have a bank account? My answer is in the old world, yes. But in the new world that we're talking about, the answer is no. If you have no bank account, it doesn't matter. You have a mobile phone, you have an internet connection, and you can make use of artificial intelligence mobile applications like Squirrel Safe, and you can access the whole world from where you are right now without a bank. The only challenge, of course, is how you would have to send money into the app. The current methods are not the best, but I'm saying you don't have a bank account, but you can still do it. So that is something I want you to understand as part of our financial education. Do not be left behind. The young people in other countries who are using this technology are growing 10, 15, 20, 25%, depending on the risk they take. What about you? If you look at a lot of research done by the World Bank and other international organizations, if you look at the top, the Philippines, all right, is 2.2% at the top. You've got countries like Ethiopia, they've got a war going on. Myanmar, they've got social unrest. Democratic Republic of Congo in the African continent, Turkey, Colombia, Tanzania, Peru, but Philippines is right up there. I say, with this opportunity, do something for yourself because it's in your hand. It's within your will to invest smarter when everyone else can do it. Why can't you? So in the Philippines, there are so many young people, all right? Almost 30% of the population are young, and investments are best done early, best done when you're young, to capture the power of compounding, so that when you capture, you start now, you get 10% return, you keep it for another year, it's another 10%, another 10%, and it grows exponentially. And that's how the rich get richer. What about you? So Squirrel Safe, what we've done using artificial intelligence, we plug it into investments and we make it easy. Easy for anyone, anywhere, anytime to invest in the whole world. Why only one country? In the whole world. Why do you have only all your money in one basket? So we invest in the whole world, diversify in many baskets, and each basket is a country. Each basket has got shares, it's got bonds, it's got property. So that's diversification in a mobile app. So that is what we have built. Not only that, we make it easy. You don't need to have a lot of knowledge, because a lot of you said you have no basic knowledge even. You can just go into our artificial intelligence and play a game. There are no complex questions to answer, all right? Just play a game, have some fun, and the machine using artificial intelligence is going to predict your risk profile. And based on that risk profile, the machine will give you a portfolio, a diversified global portfolio, even if you start with 40 pesos. So the other question is, yes, you can now start investing with as low as 40 pesos. How much does it cost you to have a cup of coffee in a cafe, in an air-conditioned cafe in the Philippines, in Makati, for example? Much more than 40 pesos. So you can now invest and sacrifice 10 cups of coffee and benefit like how all the other young and smarter middle class are making money during this COVID. Again, you can invest globally with $1. And the answer is yes. And here you can see on this screen, it's a technical screen, but I just need you to focus on this portfolio. Shows the very aggressive risk rating. They want to have higher returns and they can also have higher losses. But in the last 1 year, 13 months, this portfolio has grown 22%. Why? We invested $1. You can see this is real. This is a Squirrel Safe system. $1, all right, became $1.22. That's a 22% return in 13 months. And what does it invest in? On the right-hand side, it invests in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bonds. Can you even invest $1 in a bond? No way. This is for the less than the price of a cup of coffee in an air-conditioned cafe. All right. You will have so many bonds. You have gold. All right. You have real estate, global real estate. You have global stocks. You have NASDAQ, S&P 500 American. You have Japan. You have Australia. All this for $1, 40 pesos. We've got emerging equities. We've got Russia. We got emerging markets. All right. We got Brazil, and so on. Can you imagine? For as little as $1, but of course, if you invest $1, you get 22%, but it's 22 cents, right? But if you can invest $1,000, $10,000, then at 22%, you're getting there. All right. So this is real. I'm telling you, artificial intelligence investing can work. $1 becomes $1.22. What are you waiting for? If you put in $100, it's $122. Simple mathematics. It's to plan for your future. And right now I'm going to show you a video to explain this a little bit more.
Squirrel Save, smart investing for anyone, anywhere, anytime. Squirrel Save applies machine learning AI to the Nobel Prize-winning Markowitz modern portfolio theory, seeking the best diversified combination of investments with the highest probable return, matched to the risks you decide to take. Squirrel Save works 24/7 to do this. Wow, that's not humanly possible. Well, Squirrel Save can. To get started, go to squirrelsave.com.sg. Just 3 simple steps. 1. Decide your risk profile. 2. Set up your investment goal. 3. Transfer cash into Squirrel Save. And we do the rest. Relax and let Squirrel Save's AI algorithms work for you. Squirrel Save, smart investing for anyone, anywhere, anytime.
Okay, so to end off this seminar, all right, just before one last video and then we go into Q&A. Today's session is to educate you what is available in the world today. And I showed you that technology has made the world one world. And what Squirrel Safe has done is to use AI to make investments easy for anyone, anywhere, anytime, including you. I've demonstrated to you that it works, and I've shown you the kind of returns that people have been enjoying over the last 1 year. And then I asked you, what about you? So using AI is relevant to you because if you start now, you can keep compounding and therefore invest for your future. The decision is yours. The knowledge is for you to learn. The sharing is our pleasure, courtesy of Squirrel Treehouse, a group of financial and technology entrepreneurs who want to do positive social impact through financial literacy and education. And before we go to Q&A, Squirrel Safe has invented, using technology, another very interesting way. If you think there are deserving people, families that need help, wherever you are, right? Reach out to me because we have started a new initiative. If I can help people invest where no banks in your country will do anything for you, it doesn't matter anymore because with smart technology, you can connect to us. And if there are families that are disadvantaged, we have a network of well-to-do people, working people who don't mind or have a heart for others. And they want to do something by setting up an investment account for someone who's disadvantaged. We're doing it in Singapore for our Down syndrome children. But where you are, if you know of anyone deserving, let us know because we could reach out to our well-to-do investors who could gift a portfolio, courtesy of the donor using Squirrel Safe's artificial intelligence. And here, I'm going to show you a video to tell you how it works. This is a group of young people in Singapore who go through the same things as many young people in the Philippines, Vietnam, and Indonesia, and across the world. They have no experience. How can they start investing? I don't want them to be taken in, to pay high fees, or to be led down the wrong road by people who want them to gamble. I want them to invest smart. Then they say, but I don't have enough money to start. No more excuses, because Squirrel Safe has used AI to change the world of old investing to smart investing. So watch the young people in Singapore, read or listen to the video on Gift the Portfolio, and let us do some good in the world.
Hey guys, what's up?
We're reading up about investing. I want to grow my money, but I'm new to investing.
Yes, me too. Investing seems so technical and scary. Also seems to need a big amount to start.
Guess what? I've been using Squirrel Safe to invest for me.
Squirrel Save? What's that?
Squirrel Safe uses machine learning AI to make investing easy. No complex decisions, no investment knowledge needed.
And we can start with any amount?
Yes, start with any amount. You can top up, withdraw anytime.
Wow, SquirrelSave sounds like a good way to start investing.
Yes, Squirrel Safe is a digital wealth manager. It uses machine learning AI to trawl the latest market data and assemble a globally diversified investment portfolio for you.
Yes, I don't want to trade and time the markets. I just want to grow my money steadily over the longer term.
Squirrel Safe works 24/7 and make investment decisions based on medium to long-term data analytics. It does not try to time or trade the markets.
Sounds good, but is it expensive?
Not at all. It charges a very low management fee of 0.5% of your investment amount.
That's cheaper than most other investment platforms out there.
Indeed. Squirrel Safe earns a performance fee only when it makes money for me.
That's fair.
How do we start our Squirrel Save accounts?
First, you need to know your risk profile.
But what if I'm not sure of my risk profile?
That's easy. Simply play Squirrel Safe risk reward game. The AI algorithms will predict your risk profile. No complicated questions, no technical jargons.
Wow, I didn't know I can start investing so easily.
Yeah, and I thought investing is only for those with experience and lots of money.
Well, now you know. Quick, sign up at squirrelsave.com.sg now.
Great, I want my money in a globally diversified investment portfolio.
Yep, signing up right now.
This is gift the portfolio for you. So remember, if you have anyone who is deserving, there are well-wishers who want to give the portfolio to someone else. Thank you very much. That's the end of my sharing. Let's go to the Q&A. I've seen some questions in the chat group, so I'm going to try and start there. Okay. Thank you so much for your patience. It's coming to 1 o'clock, but for those who would like to stay on, we can spend another 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever it takes to answer as many questions as I can. So right now, the first question. Okay, I've got to scroll to the chat. Okay. Okay, so the first question is, what are my qualifications and what investment benchmarks do I use? Am I a fiduciary? Okay, first of all, my qualifications, I've got 30 years of investment banking, insurance, and healthcare. And what I have is a CFA, Certified Financial Planner, and I'm a chartered financial analyst, right? So that's my qualifications and experience. I've run banks, insurance companies, and so on. Investment benchmarks, we look at global benchmarks, but we don't just go for benchmarks. We want to get positive returns, right? Am I a fiduciary? Well, I'm licensed by the central bank in Singapore, and we keep monies safely because we're regulated and licensed. And so, yes, in the sense that we are trusted, the answer is yes. The next question is, what kind of investment will be potentially good after the pandemic ends? My answer is that there is never a good or bad investment. It's diversification. And as I explained, people have been getting 20% returns during the pandemic as we speak. So if you keep waiting, then I don't think you've got the right person who is helping you. Okay. So what kind of returns can we get in 2 years? Well, the answer is really what kind of risk you're willing to take. If you look at investment markets, if you look short term within a year, it's very uncertain. But if you take a ruler and look at investments over 1 to 3 years, no matter whether it's a market crash or correction, the market at the end of 1 to 2 years or 3 years have gone further up. So many people using human emotions, when the markets are shaky, they sell. So they sell low. But when the markets go up, they get greedy, so they buy high. And so that's why it's not smart investing. And that's why I created Squirrel Safe, because I know I'm also the same. So we use AI. Next question. Does Squirrel Safe has cyber security? The answer is that we are regulated and we are audited. So we use what we call world standards in terms of cybersecurity. But even the best power stations in the United States get hacked. All right. So it is a constant battle, but we would say, relatively speaking, we are pretty secure, right? The next question. If parents are not supportive of children investing, well, our approach is that we don't think that anyone currently by law below 18 should be investing yourself. You should be investing with your parents. So we would encourage anyone below 18 to get your parent to be the one to invest, and you can put some of your money and ask your parents to put it in for you. If you're above 18, then I would say your parents have a view, but they are right, because as I said, many people say they invest, but they're actually gambling. But here I've used AI because I don't want to be gambling. I want to do the real investing, and that's what Squirrel Save is about. So I would say, if your parents realize and understand that we use technology to manage risk, which is what investing is about, it should be relatively okay, provided you choose the right risk setting for your own personality. Okay, so that's the question answered. How much is the minimum for the first investment? As I showed you, 1 Singapore dollar, around 40 pesos, 37 pesos, 40 pesos, whatever. It's as low as $1. That's 80 cents US, right? But if you invest 80 cents US or equivalent in pesos, and you get 10%, it's not going to be meaningful. But you can start and experience it and understand it. And as you get comfortable, you can put in more. But you can start with 40 pesos or 1 Singapore dollar. Okay. Next question is, how will I invest if I don't have a bank account? That's a good question. Unfortunately, that's a very hard problem to resolve. But if you can invest a bigger amount of money, then you can go through the other channels, which are digital remittance companies. Their fees are much lower than a bank. I would avoid paying high fees for sending investment dollars. But there are digital remittance companies, and if you reach out to us, we can give you some ideas. But today is an education seminar, but we are using Squirrel Safe as a case study to let people know what is really happening for young people around the world, that they can access smart investing globally. What about you? So for that, you can reach out to us, client services at squirrelsafe.com.sg, and we'll answer how you can get around some of these hurdles. And in case you're wondering also, my email is Victor, VICTOR .lie, LYE at pivotfintech.com. Victor.lie, LYE at pivotfintech.com. You can reach out and we can address some of these things. What mode of transfer can we use here to invest? Like I said, you can go offline and we can help you with this. It is currently not easy if you want to send small amounts of money, but if you send larger amounts and you can pull them together, then it makes more sense. Does Squirrel Safe invest in stock trading? The answer is no. We don't trade stocks. We invest in a very safe, risk-managed way using artificial intelligence. We diversify. So in our diversification, you will get exposure to stocks like Apple, Facebook, Netflix, Google, General Motors, Pfizer, Moderna, and so on, right? You get it. You get an exposure. Can you imagine if you invest 10 US dollars, you get exposure to all these stocks, but not only stocks, you get exposure to bonds, you get exposure to US treasuries, you get exposure to global bonds, even say European bonds and stuff like that. You can get exposure. And as I showed you earlier, You can get exposure to real estate, to gold, to metals, and to foreign currency. So it's all run by machine. Okay. Next question. How do I send money? Same question. So a big problem for many of you is your current system is how to send money, but we can deal with that offline, and each solution will be based on who you are. All right. Now, how much is allowable? How much is allowable to withdraw? A question here. The answer is any amount. So we're like think of it like a simple mobile account or wallet. You can transfer money in and you can transfer money out anytime. Of course, the delays will be the banks that you deal with, or the intermediaries, the people in between that you have to deal with, the people who send the money back to you. They're the ones who do the delay. But once you tell us to withdraw, we will, it's not me, not the human, the machine will send the instruction across to our investment machine every night, and they will do the instructions to sell and do the withdrawal. So that minimally takes 1 day, and then after that it comes back. But it takes typically 2 to 3 days. All right. But you can withdraw anytime and any amount. No restriction. Minimum age, I answered that question. The minimum age to open an account is 18 years old. Next question. What are the advantages of having a bank account? Well, I suppose many of you would have a bank account to credit your salaries. So you already have it. You can use it to transfer money. If you don't have a bank account, like I said, there are digital apps out there where you can transfer money by different channels without going through the bank. So we can discuss that. Okay. Next question. Does the Squirrel Save AI invest in funds or directly into stocks? We invest in exchange traded funds, ETFs, because they are safer, they are very liquid, their fees are very low, and they're diversified. All right. So we don't invest directly in stocks because stocks will be too exposed to volatility. And so, but in the ETFs that we invest in, there are stocks in there. So you get stocks not directly, but you get stocks through a safer platform. Okay, any more questions? I think I've answered most of them. Okay, if I don't see any more questions, I just want to share our contact details. It's client services at SquirrelSave, SAVE.com.sg. Squirrel Save, all right, .com.sg. The other one is my personal email, victor.lie, L-Y-E, at pivot, P-I-V-O-T, fintech.com. Victor.lie at pivotfintech.com. So you can reach out to us. Like I say, with a mobile phone and the internet, we're all next door to each other. If we in Singapore, as a global wealth management center in the whole world, can generate good returns for all our clients who are in Singapore and all over the world coming here through their mobile phones, then you need to do some awareness of what is already available today. There's a question, last 5 years on average. No, we only started the business in 2018 and we launched our machine in late 2019. So we have been starting when COVID started, which was really a bad time. But even with COVID, we have generated above 10%, and you saw we generated 22% for that $1 account. These are real accounts. All right. So that's the answer to that last question on the last 5 years. Okay, one question, compared to crypto and stocks. Okay, just to let you know, Pivot Fintech, which is the company that runs Squirrel Safe, we are in crypto, but I want to explain to you, please be careful about crypto. Crypto is highly, highly risky. It's the highest risk, and it's almost akin to gambling because you don't know what you're doing. All right. So I would say compared to stocks, crypto is very risky, and you should not get involved. But if you want to, you have to deal with professionals. If you want to deal in stocks, that's trading, because stocks are very direct and you can't diversify. You can have 20 stocks, but they're 300,000 or more stocks in the world. Why only invest in 10 or 5? It's like going to the horse races. So to me, buying stocks, pardon me, I used to do this as a stockbroker, is no different from going to a horse race and picking a horse. Our machine is using data analytics, real-time, 24/7 to do smart investing. So we're totally different. So please, I hope that answers your question. And we can always have a different session to educate you about crypto and stocks. Okay, thank you. Let me see. Any more questions? Okay, with that, important that I leave the contact details once again for those who have got specific questions or private questions which are not suitable for me to answer. You know, questions like your bank accounts and all that, it's very personal. So I'd like to protect you. So we'll take that offline. My contact details, I repeat, and then we'll end the seminar, the webinar. First, client services at SquirrelSave, SAVE.com.sg. All right. And my email is, and my colleague has just put it out on the chat, victor.lye@pivotfintech.com. So with that, I just want to tell you, my good friends, wherever you are, our hearts go out to you as you and your countrymen fight COVID. We wish that your country, like so many other countries, including us in Singapore, can be safer, because no one is safe until everyone is safe. We want to make sure that vaccines are available to everyone, and we are sad to see vaccines being wasted in countries which have too many, and the struggle of people queuing up for food where vaccines are not available. Squirrel Save and our company Pivot Fintech wants to do social good, and through Gift a Portfolio, we want to reach out to the richer people in our network, wherever they may be. We have the wealthier people in Indonesia, Vietnam, Singapore, and elsewhere. And as I said, we want to make sure we can do good through Gift a Portfolio to deserving families and people across the world. So thank you so much for listening and joining us in this Squirrel Treehouse presentation, this financial literacy and education program. Stay safe, everyone. Take care. And we hope to see you at our next financial literacy and education webinar. Thank you.